Good day, audience. We're here again on another segment with Rebecca Camerera. On a day-to-day basis, as entrepreneurs, we find ourselves stuck with challenges. I think some of them can be perceived challenges, and some of them can be real challenges that we actually face. And we didn't want to kind of like put them under the carpet and ignore that they exist. They do exist. And sometimes we feel like we could have gone so far ahead, but we are not yet where we would have wanted to be. So I'm here with Rebecca so that she can kind of like help us to navigate ourselves around the areas of challenges and how we can deal with different kinds of challenges that we face on this journey of being entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now, when you're an entrepreneur, many people think, the success stories of the ones who have made it, the ones that we look at who are successful. We think it was smooth sailing. And when you hear their stories, they will share with you how they had to overcome many obstacles. Mm-hmm. It's just like when we take a journey and you say, my aspired destination is, I want to be the leading supplier for the country of South Africa for regarding your product or your services. And then to get there is where you need to now sit down and really be able to map out your path on how to get there. And so part of the journey is you will, like any road, you're going to face roadblocks, you're going to face potholes, traffic cops are going to stop you for compliance purposes. You're going to face maybe boulders, maybe it's behind mountains and a big rock fell over and now it's blocking, it's an obstruction to the road. And now you're thinking, do I go back from where I started and give up, or do I find a way around it? So my mentality is always like, there's a pastor, Andre, he spoke about find a way to win. He wrote a book. And I always say, as an entrepreneur, you find a way to win. You have to. Whether you go under it, whether you're going to have to go around it, or whether you're going to go over it, you're going to just find a way to win. Find a way to overcome it. Because when you have limiting beliefs of saying, well, I've tried it over and over again, therefore I'm giving up. So some of the challenges could be mindset challenges, where you have these roadblocks in your mind where you say, I've been rejected by so many providers, so many collaboration partners that we would have partnered with. They told me, no, my business idea is not viable, and now I don't want to face rejection again. And that part of the things that might be holding you back from progressing in your journey as an entrepreneur. So the fear of rejection could be one thing that could be a challenge for you. It could be different for another person because your profile is very different from mine.
That's right.
Maybe family responsibilities are the things that's holding me back.
Where you end up being stuck, maybe tax challenges.
Exactly.
Black tax.
Because family responsibilities, you got the aunties, you got the extended family, you've got your children, and it's a genuine and sincere reason why you're not progressing. But if you sit with it and convince yourself that this is so genuine and sincere, that's why I'm not moving forward, guess what? You're still going to be stuck there with or without family responsibilities. So at the end of the day, yes, with the family responsibilities, how can I now make changes in my life to be able to make some kind of progress towards my personal goals in order to be more successful financially, to be able to take off the burden that we have and maybe equip someone else in the family to be able to be independent, and that's one less dependent in your maybe budget that you're taking care of.
For me also, I like the thought line process. I've realized in my short journey as an entrepreneur or long that every challenge that I face, it's in my mind.
Yes.
And as I begin to delve deeper inside myself and also leverage on other people's expertise and experience, I'm able to grow as a person. I'm able to grow intellectually, knowledge-wise. There's some stretching that happens.
So true.
Like, kind of like you break forth when you unravel the challenge, when you go through or when you go beyond it. You've grown somehow. And that's where the dilemma that a lot of entrepreneurs have is when they see something that is almost labeled as a challenge, then we try to put our head under the sand. Okay. So maybe you find that you have financial challenges.
Instead of going to the bank and looking at your bank statement and saying, okay, what's the 3-month bank statement saying? What's the pattern of my spending? Am I actually budgeting and allocating the right amounts? We put our head in the sand. And so we don't want to stretch ourselves to say, actually, I need to budget. I need to do without going out for the entertainment, or I need to start paying someone a salary and make sure that I start building the pipeline for the sales of the cash flow to come in. So that stretching that comes in by identifying what the challenge is, naming that challenge, because once you name the challenge, you know what you're dealing with. You know what tools to deal with it and tackle it with. You know how to navigate around it with specific solutions and problem-solving skills that you need to pull out. But number 2, I would say, find out what the trigger is. What's the trigger? Because many times our personal issues do flow into our businesses as entrepreneurs. Because maybe when you're growing up, you were told you'll never amount to anything. Now you're finding challenges and a lot of no's, a lot of roadblocks along the way. Now you start reminding yourself and saying, oh, you see, they told me I'll never amount to anything. That's why my business is failing. And then before you know it, you want to opt out of the game. But you need to commit to the vision of being an entrepreneur and saying, okay, this challenge is, you name it, then find the right tools to deal with it. And that's how you progress even fast and accelerate your progress in entrepreneurship. Then where you look at the monument of where you lost everything and you cry and you want to bury yourself alive and saying, you know what, why not just die with this dream, because this dream has died. But I'll say, you know, they didn't know we're seeds. They tried to bury us, but we're still going to sprout out. That's and right. We're going to live again. That's so right. Find the will to win, find the will to fight again, no matter what the obstacle is. And also be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Start getting comfortable with the stretch, because the stretch is developing muscles that you didn't have. And part of a vision board, I always say, it's more than getting what you want. It's really about who you're becoming along the journey. Who you're becoming along the journey says, I've identified I've got a skills gap when it comes to financial management. I'm going to become a more financial savvy and more disciplined person because I've taken on the mandate to say I'm going to learn. I'm going to sit under someone, I'm going to sign up for a course to become better in this area, even though this is some subject that I actually hate, to be honest with you. But I'm going to stretch myself and become better, because 10 years from now you're not going to be the same person that you started off as.
That's right. Wow, it's amazing. So challenges, there are opportunities to grow.
Absolutely.
You look at them in that manner, then you become a better person.
Yes.
Then automatically you are no longer a victim to challenges. You become a victor, because maybe the universe is trusted you enough to come up with a solution.
Hello, there's nothing impossible. Wow. And we're problem solvers. I always say this machine called the human being has the power to solve problems. And also in entrepreneurship, you are called to solve a problem. That should be the basis of your business approach. You get paid to solve a problem. So as a problem solver, you cannot start now saying, I'm going to give up on myself, because now you're actually denying the world your gift, your uniqueness, your contribution to make someone else's life simpler, their process simpler. Maybe they've got systems that they need. You need to now empower them to also thrive in their business, and you're an important part of the formula, important part of the design with whatever product that you're bringing to the table. So you have to come and show up with your gift and talents and offering, but to solve a problem and meet a need that's out there in the market. And you cannot fail from there, because once you also understand the different needs, you'll be agile, because maybe this need has been met. What other need do I see in the world that I also can plug in and start playing? That becomes your multiple streams of income, because now you're seeing there's more needs, but am I well equipped to meet that need? Do I have the experience? Do I have the expertise? Can I learn the skill? And that's when you become agile in the world, ever-changing world, but also as an entrepreneur, how you stay in the game.
So would you also say then that maybe a challenge can be a reflection of where I am as a person, that maybe I'm stuck mostly because maybe I've also been stuck in terms of developing myself.
Yes.
I've not moved. So it's a reflection of where maybe I am mentally, intellectually,
Emotionally, yes. Because I always say when it's a vision, I think Precious, one of your guests might have alluded to that. I always say, when you put in the GPS for your aspired destination, the GPS system will ask you what's your current location. And the current location, I always say, locate yourself where you are emotionally, mentally, physically, financially. Because relationship-wise, where are you? Because that's going to help you understand why you feel the way you feel about certain things right now, why you are where you are right now, what kind of work is going to be needed to get where you need to be. Maybe the distance is a little bit further away than you thought it would need to be. For example, you might say, I need to work on my network and build the right network for my business, but you've been hurt, you've been betrayed. So currently where you are, you're in a place of brokenness. So what you need to apply is healing. You need to start healing and applying the right medication to whatever wound that is, to be able to build that resilience again, to face another meeting, which could potentially come back with a no, but you're not as hurt as before, because now you're able to say, actually, you know what, if they want to partner with me, they will. If they don't, they don't. You don't take it so personally. But if you're in a place of brokenness and wounded state, you're going to take everything personally, and you're not going to make the right clear decisions in a business meeting. You're going to be defensive, you're going to be demanding, you're going to be desperate, and then it just defeats the purpose, and you feel even more defeated and feel like it's a vicious cycle. So it's so important to understand where you are financially. Why am I asking for a loan, and how has my spending pattern been before? I've been borrowing. And I remember making a decision one time in my own statement to myself, I said, Rebecca, you will no longer borrow from anybody. Going forward, you are not borrowing from anyone, so you have to make it work. Whatever you have in your hands to make it work, you make it work.
That's right.
And whatever little that you make in order to sustain yourself and your family, you make it work. But you are not going out to borrow from anybody. And that allows you, like you're saying, as part of the vision, is where are you? Are you a person that would always rely on borrowing? And if you always relied on borrowing, then how are you going to make it as a business person, where you're going to get loans from everywhere? Can you pay back? What's your credit history? So you need to also be honest about your current state. What's driving that need? What's driving your behavior as an entrepreneur? What's driving, whether they're positive behaviors or negative behaviors? And if they're positive, then enhance them. But if they're negative, then you need to have a check with yourself and have an accountability partner. Have a coach if you need to, because then you know that you've got the right support and the right mentors around you.
Wow. So yes, you are hearing what Rebecca is saying as audience. Don't be stuck in challenges. There are a lot of ways to go over it, around it, under it. But there has to be a way. Find a way. She mentioned a book that was written to that effect. Find a way around challenges, and it might be an opportunity to allow oneself to grow. It might be a reflection of where one is currently. So don't be stuck on that notion of challenges, but what can be done to develop, and also as a person to evolve. Feel free to share with your concerns, any inputs to that effect, and any other challenges that you feel we can be able to talk about. In line with entrepreneurs, we feel like entrepreneurs can do so much more. So we thank you for taking time to listen to this segment. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Bye.